So the two things that I think are foundational always is quality hydration, quality nutrition. If you can do those two things consistently day in, day out, you're going to start to lay a strong foundation for yourself. And then, of course, moving daily, getting sleep. So I'm going to talk about all of these things and like sort of try and hit some of the most important pieces, and hopefully you're able to start to incorporate this into your life on a daily basis. And that really is the thing, is consistency over time. It's not about what you do one day a week or when you think about it. It's just really the repetition of it that is the most important. So let's talk about that was a lot. Let's talk about quality hydration. Okay. So for myself, I believe quality hydration, the best hydration on the market is using molecular hydrogen with frequencies. And the reason for that is that we are made up of 62% hydrogen. And when we're using molecular hydrogen with frequencies, what we're doing is we're actually bringing the healing properties of hydrogen into our bodies. So the bottle that I use has multiple frequencies: energy, recovery, and lumivite, which are the frequencies of the sun. And there is something about infusing your water with frequencies, with those energy frequencies, with recovery and lumivite, which allow the water to just be different within the body. So I have tested this. I did a live blood analysis several months ago, and I tested my blood just drinking spring filtered water, and my blood was still kind of clumped together. It was still bound. And I have a video on my Instagram somewhere about it. And then I ran a recovery cycle on my bottle, and we tested my blood again, and the red blood cells had separated. The plasma within the blood had cleaned up, and there was like this beautiful white light around all the red blood cells. So I've visibly seen with my eyes the benefits of drinking from this bottle. And I've seen the difference between just drinking filtered water and drinking molecular hydrogen water with frequencies. And so this hydrates at the cell level. Hydrogen is the smallest molecule which can penetrate into all the cells. But when we're drinking water that isn't hydrating, what ends up happening is that the water doesn't even get into the cells. And if the water can't get into the cells, water is the carrier for oxygen and nutrients. And so if the water can't get into the cells, it also means that oxygen and nutrients can't get into the cells in the same way. The other thing I love about molecular hydrogen and this device is I can bring it with me absolutely anywhere, right? I fly with it. I go across town with it. I bring it with me absolutely everywhere. I drink about 6 or 7 bottles of these per day. And here's an interesting thing. I did a 14-day water only journey 3 years ago. And I was supervised. I went to a clinic to do that experience. And I was drinking distilled water. The clinic was giving me distilled water, and it was really hard for me. That whole 14-day experience, like I still remember to this day, over 4 years later, day 3, day 8, day 11, I really struggled. In fact, I had 2 good hours in me per day to work, and the rest of the time I had to rest. Now, back in January, there was a group of us that decided we were going to do a 40-day transformation to really start our 2025 off, right? And so my first 31 days, I just did the superfoods. I did some herbs. I also did my molecular hydrogen every day, multiple times a day. And so that's what I did. And then partway through that 31-day experience, I was like, you know what? I haven't done water only since that experience back in 2021. Let me do just 10 days on water, but let me do it with molecular hydrogen plus frequencies. And so I was still doing my super aminos, and I was only doing the super aminos and the molecular hydrogen with frequencies. So in the morning, I would wake up, I'd run the Lumivite cycle, and then I'd drink my water. And then for the rest of the day, I was running recovery frequencies because I figured I wanted my body to rebuild and recover. And so I did that for 10 days, zero downtime. I was still able to exercise most days. I was able to work my full day with clients, with partners, do all the things that I normally do, no downtime whatsoever. And I had energy, I had vitality. Only on day 7, I had a little bit of a hard time in the afternoon where I had to like rest for a little bit. But outside of that, I did not have to book time off and just lay around and rest because I still had energy and vitality. And the only thing I can attribute to that to is the fact that I was drinking molecular hydrogen water with the frequencies, which was helping to upregulate the mitochondria, helping to reduce inflammation, and hydrating at a deeper level. And so my body was just able to keep going. It makes sense because if you're doing water only and you're not intaking any food, most of us have enough fat on us that our body can utilize those fat stores for energy and for whatever we need on a daily basis. So if your body has those resources, why is there any struggle with water only? It's only, well, there's 2 aspects of it. There's always the mental. I got some balloons. There's the mental aspect of it, because if mentally we don't prepare properly to do water only, it's very, very challenging. And this is why I always say that if you have a desire to do water only, please make sure that you're properly supervised, either working with a practitioner like myself or in clinic somewhere where you're being guided and supported. Very, very important. So there's always the mental aspect. And then there's just like the physical aspect is that obviously different water has different impact within the body. And I've done it with distilled water and I've done it with molecular hydrogen. In fact, I'm about to do another 7 days on water only, but I'm going to be using the molecular hydrogen because it was a much easier process for me and experience. So proper hydration, that's a long way of saying proper hydration is key for your overall health and well-being. And most people are chronically dehydrated. They're drinking the wrong kind of water and they're dehydrated. And then they've been told that they need to drink water. So then they drink water in those little plastic bottles that are leaching microplastics into the water, and then that's what they're putting into their body, increasing the microplastics in their bodies. So what kind of water you drink, where it comes from is very, very important. And it's not just about buying bottled water or having filtered water. It's really about making sure, like, what is the structure of that water and does it actually hydrate at the cell level?
Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you are enjoying the content on this channel. If you have not already done so, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every single time a new piece of content goes up. There is new content that goes up every single week. If you're not already a part of my online community, go to my website, sign up for my newsletter so that you are in the know. On my newsletter, I'll be sharing all kinds of promos and discounts as they come up. To work with me, check out my monthly membership, Elevate, which is really focused on addressing parasites and the root causes of chronic illness within the body. If you are interested in holistic health and well-being, you have definitely landed in the right place. Thanks so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.